Welcome back. Welcome back. I'd like to introduce you to the Soul Room, my new podcast kicking off today. I've just set up the new space here in Burleigh Heads Industrial Estate, and I thought it'd be really good to just drop in with a check-in, how life's been over the last few months, and why I have found this new podcast for myself, and looking forward to bringing new guests on and just seeing how that rolls. So, the Soul Room is just a place for you to come and bare your soul, express your soul, who you are, what you do, what's important in life, and to just have those conversations that are raw, meaningful, unfiltered, untapped, and honest. Because I think honesty is the biggest thing that we can embody. Honesty is real, it's raw, it's not always clean and tidy, but it's perfect in the sense. So the first thing I wanted to drop in with today is, it feels a bit weird. This is the first podcast I've done by myself, and not having someone to bounce ideas back and forth. It's reflective, I guess. So I appreciate you for being here, witnessing me, and joining on this new journey, this new podcast for myself. Firstly, I just want to talk into maybe what's been present with me over the last few months. Still deeply in love. My beautiful, beautiful woman, Kristen, she's helped me set this space up and been by my side this whole time. We spent a month in Bali, which was, it was really beautiful. I think the biggest lessons or the learnings for me was that we are here for each other, deeply here for each other. And I guess when you spend such a period of time together every single day, you really start to know someone on a deeper level, but you also start to identify that, for me, this was a deeper knowing of this is the person that's right for me, because it felt right. And each moment we spent together was, very easeful. We always have those little moments. But just to find that we could be together for a complete month and just cruise, support each other, be there for each other, give each other space, time and energy when we needed it. That felt really, really, really beautiful, but something I already knew I think would be the case. Just loving on that. And the adventure of Bali, eating out all the time and all those sort of things was fun, but it did tiresome. I wanted to be home, to wash some clothes, to eat some organic meat, to cook my own food. That was challenging over a period of time in Bali. And we were very lucky. We had a few beautiful friends put us up the whole time we were there. We didn't really have to pay for accommodation, and that was beautiful. But it also comes with its challenges. For me, I like my own time. I like my space. I like unconditional, friendships. I feel like I want to embark on friendships that allow space and time and lack of expectations, or if there's things that people want, to just speak them. And I found at times that wasn't necessarily the case, and that added some pressure. And it's not nice when people have expectations on you but don't speak them. But outside of that, still very grateful for all that we were given the whole time we were over there, and taken care of and loved in the ways that people show love and give love. And I think it's just understanding that piece as well. So I also found disappointment in situations in Bali, but they're all a part of growth. I don't want to talk too deeply into these things because it's not the right format or place for that, because those situations have transitioned, worked themselves out, and will show however they'll be over the period of time. So Chris and I bought a villa in Bali, which is fucking cool. It'll be ready in August, which is super exciting, and I think a new investment opportunity that we get to embark on together and create a different revenue source for our living in Australia. Because purchasing property in Australia right now with the money that I had was challenging, and I'm also realizing that when I'm by myself like this, I say a lot. So I'm gonna check into that and just pause and not be so rushed. and is another So yeah, bear with me, people. I'm fuck. I am navigating this, and yeah, it's okay to be slow. I'm putting myself under expectations of how I need to show up today and what I need to give and how I need to be perfect. All right. That segues into what I was thinking about just before I jumped on. I said to Kristen today, I feel like effort is one of the things that can be the closest thing that we call perfection. A lot of people say that nothing's perfect. Life's not perfect. We're not perfect as humans. We keep reiterating that. We keep reiterating that effort that we are not perfect. Inherently, we are fucking perfect. We're all fucking a mess as well at the same time. So I said, inherently, I believe complete effort in life and how you show up is the closest thing that we can come to perfection. And the only thing that makes it not perfect is our expectation on how things should go or the outcomes that we have. And if we didn't have that and we just understood that how it went and how it was perfect, then we can realize that the only thing that we really need to worry about is our effort in life, because that'll take us the closest thing that we can come to perfection. And really also understanding that message of life, that everything is perfect, everything is happening exactly how it should be, and you can choose to believe that or not, whatever. But yeah, it's how I live my life, and yeah, I'm really inspired by the effort that I'm putting in this year. I've not always been inspired by my effort. I've always, at times, tried the best that I could with what I had at the time, and I've figured out that I can give more, I can do more, and when I'm on fire and operating at a more intense level, I deliver more. I have more capacity. I have capacity to take on lots of things. That doesn't mean I need to have my head swiveling left and right and not being able to ground myself in the things that are important. However, I find that when I restrict some time and dedicate myself to the things that bring me passion, my energy level goes up, my output goes up, and my wastage of time goes down. So right now I've joined SAE Film School, and the workload there is quite big for when I go back to work, and I had 3 classes and I dropped a class because I really want to give that the best effort that I can. And I had knee surgery on Tuesday and I got so much stuff done this week. I've set this whole podcast space up, carried tables in here, chairs in here, the microphones, I cut the table up, I went to Bunnings, I went to Big W, I went to Spotlight, I did everything. I put the curtains up, and yeah, I'm just really inspired by the shift in energy within myself once I clicked over to the thing that I needed to do, which was film school. So yeah, I just wanted to chat around, what are the things in your life that you can shift to bring more energy? For me, it was implementing more things into my life. Some people, it's pulling things out. But for me, it was implementing more things into my life that brought me desire and passion and excitement and a way to connect more and create more. So when I realized that, I put those things in my life, and I see the way things flourish and let's go. Yeah. So that's just a question for yourself. Is it like, what things can you bring into your life to nourish yourself? For me, it's creativity. It's like space. It's environment. Right now, Chris and I are living in Burleigh in the little granny flat, and yeah, I realized that place isn't inspiring for me. And I was like, what are we going to do? I love that it doesn't cost us $8 million at the moment, and we are so grateful to be able to pay such limited amount of rent in the market that it is at the moment. I said, I need somewhere to be creative. I need somewhere to set up the podcast properly so I can really dive into this with the truest desire and importance that I wanted to. I felt like I was doing it out of the kitchen lounge room. I was doing it at Mao's house for a while, and it didn't feel right for me. It didn't feel like it held held an environment of importance. So I had to create an environment of importance that mattered to me, so that when I was here, it felt different and I could bring people in here and be inspired to bring people in here. So I fucking created it. And I did it on a budget. I'm not even working right now. I had knee surgery, so I got time off. I looked at so many different places to rent, and some are like 350, 450, 500, 600. I was like, oh yeah, that looks super fucking fancy. Let's do that one because that'll make me look cool. And then I found this really beautiful space, co-working space in Burleigh Industrial for $140 a week. A 3x3 meter room with a space out there to run men's circle every Tuesday night, with a beautiful person that is very accommodating. And yeah, I found what I needed, because I didn't overextend myself either. I didn't have to do it because it needs to look a certain way for social media or people when they come in, to not feel my own insecurities. Like for me, it's like, none of that's true. That's just the reason to it would have been the reason to not go ahead, to not push. But I did anyway. Yeah. So yeah, just bringing it back to that joy of life. Where are you lacking that joy in life? What's going on? What else is going on in my life? Yeah, it's been a challenging time. Not in my relationship, but in relationships. Yeah, I've somewhat lost my best friend over the Christmas period, which, again, everything's perfect. Everything's like, yeah, the timing's perfect for everything. But not bypassing the way things hurt and the way things go. Yeah, people are on their own journeys, and it can be very disappointing how people show up in life. And I guess the challenging part for myself is that there's so much understanding there as well. But there's part of me that just wants to be, fuck you. Fuck you for being the way you are right now. And I'm not going to talk too much about the whole situation, but what I want to talk about is the grounding in self, your own power, your own energy. And I guess there's so much confidence in knowing who the fuck you are, so that when these moments happen, you're grounded in that. You don't need to change. You don't need to shift. You don't need to adapt. You can observe, take lessons from these situations. But as long as you know who you are, there's limited fear. There's nothing you have to change. And if you can keep showing up in your life exactly how you want to, when these things arise, there's going to be a comfortability in the transitions for other people. We're always transitioning within ourselves, but I think when these really difficult, conflicting moments happen, this is really where you see where your heart's at, where your soul's at, where your fucking gut's at, and your energy is. For me, each moment that happens like this is just super, like I'd say it's healing, but I don't think healing is the right word. It's empowering in like an embodied sense. It's like my system goes, yeah, bro, you are who you say you are. You show up how you show you're gonna show up, and I don't need to parade that around. It even feels uncomfortable like talking about that right now, because I was like, oh, that's a bit paradey. But no, I actually want to inspire that connection to self, that confidence. I did a post years ago around like, don't let anyone disregard your confidence as arrogance, because, as soon as someone gets a little bit confident, they're arrogant. And I think that comes from the shadows of the other people that are in those situations. This also isn't bypassing all the things that I'm not perfect in, and the things that I don't get correct. I'm not a messiah. I'm not perfect by any means, except for the way that I am perfect, like I talked about before. But yeah, I wonder how these friendships and these relationships in your life, these conflicts affect you. And what relationships and friendships are you holding on to for certain reasons? And are they serving you? Are they celebrating you, empowering you, and just being by your side as you grow? I see a lot of friendships, and I've been in friendships where there's the victim dynamic. And once someone starts to excel and they grow and they expand and they move differently, previous friends really struggle with that. They don't know how to hold that. And whether it's power dynamics, all the things that need to move through, people starting to speak their own truths. It's really fucking jarring for people when people change in a way that's not suited to how they want those relationships to go. Yeah, it's interesting. And it's that power dynamics. It's like the conflict that needs to happen for that power dynamic to shift. And, you know, friendships can continue after those power dynamics have changed and shifted, and things come into like a level equalized playing field. But sometimes they need to fucking explode to be reborn, and for a friendship to develop and grow together instead of like this. And people struggle to walk when it comes like that. So like banging the ground out from underneath and bringing both up to like a level playing field on both conscious levels to be like, hey, we're both here, we're walking this path together now, and we can both give each other advice and we can both be each other's friends and supporters, you know. I think there's some grinding outside, which is great. Yeah. Where else were we? Yeah, friendships. I think friendship dynamics are very much like relationship dynamics in regards to like intimate relationships. I think you need to, assess friendships and who you've got like around you. And like I just said before, around losing my best friend, when I came back from overseas, so Kristen and I circle back. We were in Bali, and then we went to Turkey and had a hair transplant again, and that was pretty stressful on the body. And then I came back and had knee surgery, so there's lots going on. And yeah, I think. Yeah, on the way back from Turkey, I said to Kristen, there's a few bros back on the coast that I'm really excited to see and to deep dive with and start becoming closer with. And these are friends that I've had and also friends that are developing. And sometimes space needs to be created for that, you know. And so when this dynamic with my friend was happening and there was this conflict, and I was like, oh, why is this happening? And then the next day, I had two of those bros that I was thinking about reach out to me like, hey man, know you're back. Let's catch up. Let's do some stuff. And I was like, having is wanting. I wanted that conflict. I wanted that relationship to dissolve right now because it gives me more capacity to bring new things into my life. A lot of people really struggle with having is wanting and understanding, or maybe wanting to agree with it. I believe it. I believe that everything in my life, the way that it's going, is exactly how I want it to go. Having is wanting. And then people will go down the dark side of, well, do you think babies want this? And do you think women want that? And do you think... This is nuanced. And there's sensitivity around it. And I am not going to go too deep into it right now. But I just want to simply say that by that relationship ending... and me taking responsibility of like, part of me wants this. What part of me wants this? Because I have this in my life, so I'm desiring it. Our unconscious mind creates the reality, and our conscious mind creates the reality that we want. So if I have this in my life right now, why, how have I created it? And what's the message and what's the clarity here? So for me, it was like, oh, wow, cool. I'm actually trying to make space here. Okay, cool. This feels better. I can understand this a bit more, that why this conflict is happening. It's because there's a bigger thing at play. There's a bigger purpose at play. There's a more intentional presence coming into my life, more important connections that will fulfill me and guide me to a deeper, for me, it's presence, deeper presence in my connections and friends, family, and how I show up and how I can be led and lead. Yeah, so having is wanting. What have you got in your life that you don't want, that you actually do want, and that you have? And I'm open to reflections on this. I'm open to people biting back. I'm open to people asking more questions around, like, what is that? What do you mean? I've got this thing in my life, this dickhead at work. Like, I don't want him in my life. But if you have him, there's a message there for you, my friend. There's something that wants to be uncovered, overturned, investigated. Whatever that is. So like, yeah, those triggers in life are just the mirror. As everyone says, it's just the mirror showing something back to you that you need to work through. get to work through, which is exciting. Yeah, like I said to Kristen the other day, like she's going through some transitions with people as well, and it's draining like a lot of energy from her, and I feel for her, and I'm like, yeah, but this is fucking exciting. This is like growth. This is embodiment of these hard choices and experiences, and yeah, conflicting with people that you love. It's hard. Yeah, I don't wish it on people. However, it's like reality. Life's reality. Everything that we have in our life is reality, and we can't avoid reality, especially if we don't drink or take drugs or avoid things. It's here, it's present, it's now. So yeah, just being with that. Yeah. So yeah, life's fucking amazing right now. I feel like so much is getting accomplished in such a short period of time, and I know that with film school and creativity and putting myself under a different amount of pressure, it's going to help me grow. It's helping me to understand different things, and yeah, be with creatives. SAE film school. It's gonna bring me around different people, different age groups, different demographics, different cultures, and yeah, right now we're studying ideology in film, and yeah, the impact that ideology has had on us as generations, and how different generations have different ideologies, and how movies really affect and contour and change political views, race, sex, homosexuality, all these sort of things, and how each movie is even has a message that's depicting something so powerful, and it's also depicting 8 other messages, because we've got 10 different people watching it with 10 different perspectives on what they think's right and what they think's good, and their bias. And yeah, I said to Kristen last night, wow, I'm so excited about film school, because there's so many things around history and ideology and culture that sometimes I feel unread by. And, you know, you only get read, I believe, by experiences, by doing, by being in the fields of knowledge. I can't be like, oh, just tell me this thing so I can learn it. I don't want to go watch Netflix fucking doco on something, because that doesn't feel as real to me, doesn't feel as embodied, doesn't feel as research, as devoted to, as being in a cultural difference, where like film school is culture for me. It's learning by doing, by being devoted to my craft. I'm going to learn the history of like life. You know, we're talking about so many different things. The history of life is depicted through films since I can remember, and obviously not forever, because cameras and films have only been around since a certain period of time, but I would imagine like indigenous dances and all these sort of things are back to around theatre and show and messages and power, and every indigenous sort of calligraphy is another form of art and messaging, you know, which I think is just really fucking exciting for me to embark on this journey with the film industry. Is like it's not what I was expecting. I was going there because I'm making this film about my father called My Grandfather's Son, which is to be a devotion to his life, his story, and I thought it would be wise to go to film school and learn the ins and outs of filmmaking, so I can be more present again in making the movie. And yeah, I was like, I'll just go there, I'll get the technical knowledge that I need, and I'll be able to, hey, you do this, I can edit that, and I know what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, it's already so much more. It's only 1 week in, and I've already realized that the difference of things that this is going to bring into my life is so much further than the movie. It's learning from people that have had different experiences. And you can't do that by sitting in your fucking lounge room or hanging out with the same circle of friends every week, or playing for the same football team, having the same beers. Life is meant to be lived outside of the boxes that we find ourselves in every single week. Yeah, I've just realised that myself. Life's meant to be lived outside of the boxes we put ourselves in every week. Yeah. Yeah, I find myself like getting into flow and consistency sometimes, and Like, what even happened today? You know? I think right now I've got the most all over the shop flow with it, which feels really graceful at the moment because it's bringing me all different perspectives. I'm not able to sit still. I'm not able to find the mundane because there's different things happening. There's different questions happening. And I think it's all coming with ease and grace and joy and creativity. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm just sort of like working through my own things right now as they're popping up and understanding that, yeah, this is me journaling. Welcome to the Soul Room Journal by Jacob Houston /Geschwatner, because that's my mum's actual name. Just to clear that up. Jacob Houston is my Instagram name. Jacob Schwantner is German, is my mother's name. That is my legal name. And yeah, when my mum passed away, that's been my name my whole life. And then there was this piece around devoting to my dad. Like, he's still here, so I changed my name on Instagram also for that and also for acting, just to mix things up and have an American name, Houston. But it felt really cool to honor my dad in that respect and wear his name as a badge of honor. And now to sort of wear both of them, it'd be cool to get my name changed to Jacob Norman Houston Geschwatner. My kids will love that. Our kids will love that, won't they, Kristen? She's not there, but you know what I mean. I'm not sure how long I've been on today, but I just wanted to reintroduce myself and into the soul room. This is my soul, and this is my room, and I really want you to come join and be on this path with me. Watch me grow, so I can watch you grow, so we can talk, chat, delve into things that are important, talk about change, culture, influence, politics, all the things that I am desiring to learn so I can have more perspectives, have more knowledge. I want to input more wisdom and knowledge into my mind so I can create new different ways to express myself, to understand myself, to be more connected to my soul. And that's why this podcast is here. So that we can all connect deeper to our souls and who we are and how we show up and what our lineage will be, what our legacy will be, and what we'll leave. I've got a speaking gig next week. Sunday. Stories that stir. And I said to Kristen, is your story only as good as you know how to tell it? And partly that was true for me. I was like, yeah, it is. And then as I was walking into the soul room today, I said, your story's only as good as someone remembers how to tell it. Again, that just comes back to legacy and impact, doesn't it? And the reason I just said those two different things is like I want legacy for other people to remember my story, but I also want to be very inspired by my own story, and my ability to tell my story is my connection to who I am and my story. So when I have to tell my story this week, I have to connect into what it is that I love about myself. And people find that really hard, and I find it really hard. This isn't easy for me, and it feels like there's a part around like, oh, this is my story, and this is why I'm so good, and this is why I've done those things. But it's not. It's just a celebration of who you are and what you've achieved so far, and being, I think respecting yourself with the story that you have and how you've shown up and what you've done, and knowing that everyone's story is just as important as your own, and everyone gets to share it if they want to. So I have no idea what I just talked about today, and I don't know how long that went for. We are at, I don't know, because I didn't press record on there. Welcome to the soul room. We'll be dancing, having fun, speaking truths and honesty, in perfect ways and imperfect ways, in messy ways, sad ways, laughter, and just joy and abundance. So thank you for joining me on the first soul room. Thank you for joining me on the next soul room, and I'll see you for as many soul rooms as you can attend. Thank you. I love you, and we'll see you next time. Peace.